happens. Keeping the law is a response to God's love. But now that I am here,
keeping the law is a response to God's love. But now that I'm here, you love God through me. I'm the way, I'm the bridge of life here, okay? All right, everybody, what's it? Hope everybody's having a great day. This Big Matt Podcast channel, we're bringing you another big story. We're going to be doing another reaction to the season finale of The Chosen. This one is going to be good. And tonight, our topics are going to be, of course, we're going to look at the Sanhedrin and the temple up there meeting and them talking about Jesus and how they're going to bring him down and their plan. We're also going to talk about Shamiel as he comes to visit him and his partner, another guy that was there. And he's going to sit down and talk with Jesus. And Jesus just puts it right out there. I mean, it's Matthew chapter 25, verse 31 through the rest of that chapter there. And last, I didn't know if I wanted to do this one, but I thought it was important to bring it up because I can have some relevance to this situation. It's about an hour in to the show. It's when the ladies are out on the balcony, and it's the wife of Pilate and the other king or whatever, you know, and I'm not great with all these names. But how they feel and kind of just the idea of being in the situation and where they're at. So let's get right into it and get started. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with me through all this season shows and all these reactions. I've had a lot of views and a lot of comments, and I really do appreciate it. I really do. So we're going to start out here. First, we're going to talk about Sanhedrin. This is their plan and what they want to do and how they can kind of, I guess, pretty much just say, how are we going to get Jesus out of our hair without causing a big conflict? Because they don't want war brought against them. They think that Jesus is going to build up this huge army, is going to try to overthrow the Romans, and it's going to cause them a lot of grief and pain. And they don't want that. They're trying to stay away from that completely. So let's get in here and hit the old play button. Thank you, guys.
I have already been given a prophecy from God, and I believe it is about this exactly. The prophecy is that a man will die for the people so that our nation will not perish. This may be that man. We will hand him over ourselves before there is an uprising. Rome will not destroy us. They will be grateful.
The only answer is immediate arrest and execution, as Caiaphas
I did not say immediate. We are not legally allowed to execute anyone with the exception of a ritual stoning within the temple courts. If his death is to be public and a spectacle, it must be done by Rome. If we move too quickly, they won't recognize the favor we've done them. But how? Herod Antipas and his court will be arriving in Jerusalem for the festival soon. They'll be attending the annual state dinner with Pilate's administration. I'll see to it the topic is brought up.
He is pathetic. And also, we ought not to be endorsing his attendance at the state dinner.
Making sure our voice is heard is not the same as endorsing it, Shamiel. I will make sure a letter is waiting at Herod's compound in the city when he arrives. This meeting is adjourned.
Wow. So, I mean, you just hear it right there firsthand. And, you know, a lot of this stuff is not, it's not, you know, actually in the Bible. And I know some people watching this have some trouble, you know, with watching this show. Because if it's not, you know, then it would just be reading the Bible and it wouldn't really be a show. You know, as in Rama, Thomas's girlfriend, you know, I hadn't heard of the show. A lot of people have a problem with that. It's just, they're trying to make a show out of it, make it cinematic, and it adds something that we can talk about because everybody can relate to what Thomas was going through. So, you know, same thing here. You have to imagine that at some part of this, there's got to be a lot of truth to it because we know how it laid out. Okay. So we know the history of it. So, you know, basically the whole idea is, you know, what I said earlier, they think he's going to build up this army and try to go against the Romans. And they don't want that trouble because we'd reviewed in show or 2 shows ago how, they were talking about, look, these guys are warriors and killers, and that's not what we are. And they know that the only thing they can really do is try to stone him there in the temple. And they are scared to cause any conflict with the Romans, that they're going to do anything at all cost. And actually in the show before, they kind of made it out like, well, if he is who he says he is, then, we'll find out. We'll take him up there and he'll get killed. And, he's supposed to be coming back anyway. He's God, remember? So that's kind of where that ends with that part of it. Next, we're going to talk about the visit where Shamiel comes and visits Jesus with his other buddies. And this is I try not to do this so many times. I try not to just be of mind of where, we can't understand how they worship. Okay, we can't. And they've practiced these written laws and these scrolls and these old tablets for so long, they just don't have an idea of visually. It's all they got. It's like, the whole reason Christ come was to give some sanctity to their spirit, man, to their salvation, to build that bridge back with God to his people again, and not just offer it to his people, but to everybody. And you can go through Matthew 25, 31, 46, where he talks about his sheep, and then the Old Testament stuff. I've got a few of them brought up here, and we may buzz through them kind of quick, like Micah 5:2 and Isaiah 53:5 on down. If you're new to that, then hang around and we'll hit that at the end. But if you already know, then you know what I'm going to be talking about where the Old Testament points to Christ. And man, these guys they just have a hard time wrapping their head around the idea that he's for everybody. He just didn't come to, because he even says it in here, well, what do you expect? Jesus asked him. And he's like, well, to bring our people back together and, bring harmony and joy and, have all our, like buildings and kingdoms and everything's going to be built up nice and tall and all our money will be right again. See, they totally missed the point. It's got nothing to do with money or building up some kingdom here on earth. And guys, they can't get it. And so let's hit the play button here and we'll go through this.
Science. Yeah, we'll see.
Rabbi, we have reason to believe that there is danger lying in wait for you at the highest levels of temple leadership.
I would not have expected that. I'm joking. Go on.
When he first said that and I watched it, I was like, for a second I got it. I was like, well, why wouldn't he think that? He knows he's stirring up trouble on purpose because he knows he's going to have to go die. He has to be that final sacrifice for us. And then, of course, he's joking. And it's pretty funny.
Jesus of Nazareth, your situation has become a matter of life and death.
Has always been.
They tried to stone him in the temple courts.
What we mean is, your fame has gone beyond fame. It's not just many in numbers, but much in debate. Lately, it's because of him.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll try not to die next time.
No, it's all part of the plan.
Your ruin? That's part of your plan? Because that's where this is headed.
Is that what you've come to tell me?
You've called yourself the Son of Man.
Here we go again.
I'm not here to contest that or take offense this time. I'm open.
I can tell. I see it in your eyes.
Of course he can tell. It's Jesus. He knows. He already knows what's going to happen and all. But just kind of stopping there to think about that for a minute. When you already know the outcome to all these situations, it's got to be. It's just terribly challenging. I don't know what it would be like to be in that headspace. It would just be incredibly challenging, to already know and know that you still have to go through the steps. You still have to go through the process of it, because all that matters too. The process of it, not just him dying, but the things he goes through until then. All those things are important.
If you are who you say you are, what is your plan? The entire city of Jerusalem is eagerly awaiting your arrival for Passover, some with open arms, others with daggers. Do you have an army we don't know about? If you are more than a rabbi, you will have more than just Rome to overthrow, but also many religious leaders. They will not join you in your quest.
Perhaps you can help them do so. This is the week. Rabbi Shmuel, what would you like to see? Regardless of who. What is your hope for a Messiah?
To usher in a new Davidic kingdom that drives out our oppressors and restores justice and glory for Israel.
Glory.
Yes, on a glorious throne with prosperity for all, a new golden age with Israel as the light to the nations, revealing God to the peoples of the world.
And you? What will you do in that day?
Worship, serve, I hope. How could I possibly know until that day comes?
I will tell you.
So what are you going to do until that day comes, Shamiel? Like we're not, they have these days and all these special articles and things they have to do. And he's still just talking about building this kingdom here that just his people can know God, and then they can go tell other people. But everybody should have a chance at salvation. I mean, why would God created everybody if he didn't want everybody to go to heaven? I mean, I'm just always so confused at how that's so confusing to them.
When the Son of Man comes in his glory, and all the angels with him, then he will sit on his glorious throne. Before him will be gathered nations, and he will separate people one from another, as a shepherd separates the sheep from the goats. And he will place the sheep on the right, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right, "Come, you who are blessed by my Father, inherit the kingdom that has been prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, and you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you welcomed me. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we do these things for you?" Then the king will answer, "Truly, I say to you, as you did it to one of the least of these, my brothers, you did it to me."
And that's, that kind of sums it up just pretty much right there. Everybody's supposed to be the same, and we all have the same opportunity. And when you denied me drink when I was thirsty, and you denied me clothes when I was naked, and you denied me food when I was hungry, then I will deny you as you denied the least of me. So all these people and everybody that has this, chance at glory. It's all shined through God's grace and mercy and the blood of Jesus to be that sacrificial lamb. That you don't have to go anymore and get the perfect lamb and clean his feet off with the oil and tote him up in the temple, and you have to cut their throat and the blood, and then on Passover you have to paint your doors. They're still worried about those things, and those things are still on their mind. And he just explained it all, out right there, is to treat everybody all the same, because we're all his people. And when you're needed, you help everybody. And he talks about, turning the other cheek and stuff in these chapters here in Matthew. This is Matthew 25, 31 through 46, what he's saying here. And, maybe you're new to this, and maybe it don't make a lot of sense to you. I'll tell you this, and we'll move on. The easiest part of of being saved is saying the words. It's not hard to say the words. A lot of people can build up that gumption to do that. It's to continue on the path that they're fixing to have to go down and travel because Christ knows that he's going to have to go die. And they're still not real sure of that. I think Lazarus has a good idea, and of course his mom knows. What are you going to do when somebody needs to drink, when somebody needs to be clothed, and when somebody's hungry? And I don't mean just physically. When the word and the opportunity is there, you need to take advantage of those situations. And to be ready for those situations, you need to stay in his word. So you're prepared at a moment's notice, because I promise you that old serpent will strike, and he's ready at all times like a roaring lion, it says. He's going around to devour people. And right now, we're dealing with spiritual warfare like I've never seen it before. I've never seen it so thick. Okay? In my studies, in dreams and stuff, and how I stay involved with doing this, it's super serious. That's what's hard, is being able to stay in it. And when the roads get bumpy and the doors are falling off and the old engine's starting to smoke and blow sparks out the tailpipe, you've got to be able to stay in it. And Christ is trying to prepare them for that. But they're just worried about their temples and their clothes and their hats and their money, and not about to come in to serve. Christ told them what in the last show? He said, I didn't come to be served. I come to serve people. Okay? And here in a minute, you're going to see Mary. She's going to come in here, and she's bought this oil. She spent, thousands of dollars on this special oil that's, only for the best of the best. And this huge jar of it. You're supposed to take just a dot of it. Use it for perfume and stuff. And she pours the whole bottle on Christ's feet and washes it with her hair. It just shows her gratitude. And this guy, Shamiel, he's not there. I don't know if he'll ever be there. There's been talks about it on other podcasts that do this, that he may be Paul, because of some of the same guys and places that he come from, who he studied under, those kind of things. But I don't know. So let's continue on here.
Then he will say to those on his left, depart from me, for I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not welcome me. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me. Then they will answer him, saying, Lord, when did we see you hungry, or thirsty, or a stranger, or naked, or sick, or in prison, and did not minister to you? Then he will answer them, saying, as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me.
That answers his question. You can't just bar yourself up in your temple, Shamiel, and say, well, we're going to, just put up a gate around Israel, and we're going to, fight on for our people, and we're going to be, worship God and tell about everybody else about God. But if they don't keep all these laws and these rituals, they can't be you, because they can't keep all these rituals and laws because they're not Jews. So what are you going to do? You're going to go and tell people about God and say, well, next week, we're going to have this thing, the feast. We're going to have days of unleavened bread, and Feast of Trumpets is coming, and then Palm Sunday, and Passover, and we're going to have all these rituals. And these people are people of the wilderness. They ain't got a clue what you're talking about. No, they don't know nothing. You've come up your whole life in the last 3,000 years before this, for Moses and all his old laws and stuff. That's all your generations of 100 generations is known. They don't know that. So what's the best way to do it? Well, you already give you commandments. Well, Christ, I'm going to come and make that simple. And he's going to say here in a minute, oh, well, you're doing away with them. No, I'm not. I'm not doing away with them. I'm fulfilling these things. To let you know to love God first, the first 5, and then the other 5 is love each other. That's what he was trying to tell them the whole time. And for what you do for the least of them, that's what you do to me. Depart from me. I don't know you. And they don't have any pathway to salvation through these things that they do.
This is a hard teaching.
I do not know how to make it less so.
The Son of Man, the Messiah, is identified with the lowest of all people. The hungry, the poor, the stranger.
That's what I've been preaching from my opening sentence on the Mount.
But what of all the Torah requirements and traditions upheld by our forefathers?
Those traditions won't get you nowhere. They're useless. If you want to keep them, fine. That's fine. Keep them all. Keep all these traditions and wear your little cloaks and the four corners of your robe has got to be a certain way, north, south, east, west. But salvation is through Christ Jesus, the Son of Man, the Son of God. I am him. Through him. Not those traditions. They're not. If you want to keep them because that's your traditions for your people, do. But Christ is the way, and he's available for everybody. For the people that don't understand why you wear these hats, that don't understand why you wrap leather bands around your arm and stand at a wall all day rocking back and forth. Thousands of people don't know why you're doing that. I know why. But it's not going to save you, and that's what he's trying to tell these people. And when she comes in a minute, it just blows his mind, and we'll move through that pretty quickly there, and we'll move on to the next part about the ladies knew. The ladies, Pilate's girlfriend, these ladies up on the balcony, had a good idea, and I'd like to talk about it.
Prophet Micah distilled such things down to their essence.
And traditions upheld by our forefathers.
Micah chapter 5, verse 2.
The prophet Micah distilled such things down to their essence, and you overlooked it. He has told you, O man, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice and to love kindness and to walk humbly with your God?
Yes, but how do you harmonize that with the parting conclusion of Kohelet in the Ketuvim? The end of the matter, all has been heard. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
A new commandment I give you, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, that you have love for one another.
Out of the temple, the sacrifices, the law, the feasts. We're not keeping these, how nations will know we are God's people.
The temple, the sacrifices, the law, the feasts, all fulfilled in me.
You would do.
All fulfilled in me. And it's written in the book plain as day. That's not necessary to have salvation. Now, if you want to keep them, it's not like you're going to get up to the line in heaven and God's going to be like, okay, big man, here you are, son. Well, I saw that you kept the days of unleavened bread or something. If I did, and I don't, but man, you accepted my son and baptized and spread his word like I've asked you to do. But man, you was just, there you was keeping those unleavened bread days. I depart from me. No, either way, it's not, because it's not the most important thing. He just told you, I have a new commandment for you. Love God, love each other. That's how he'll know. That's how people will know that you're my people. That's how they'll know. When people look around, they can see there's a little something different about you because you have the love in your heart and kindness to help everybody and to tell everybody about Jesus Christ. And he came to give you a chance at opportunity of life after here. Not just because you're in this group or your special club with these Jews. They think they're a special club. They are so tied up on their own stuff, and they just will not admit that they're wrong. They deny this prophet. They deny him. There's people that have said, if you watch the other video, it's the one with Jesus on the cross, the real big graphic looking one video. Go there and watch it. He said, and I talked to a guy in the comments, he called me an idol worshiper. He said that I'm no different than a Satanist. He said, he said, you're no different than a Satan worshiper because you worship this Jesus. He's an idol. He's not God. I guess they can't read. They've decided just to ignore everything from Micah 5:2, which is talking about, or Isaiah 53:5, all the way down through Isaiah chapter 53. Like none of that happened. And when you ask them about that, oh, no. That's he's talking about a prophet. Jesus was not the Messiah, He was just a guy. They will know you because you're mine, and they'll know you because how you love and treat each other. Let's back that up and just listen. I don't want to hear that again.
All people will know that you are my disciples, that you have love for one another.
Out of the temple, the sacrifices, the law, the feasts. Or not keeping these, how nations will know we are God's people.
The temple, the sacrifices, the law, the feasts, all fulfilled in me.
You would do away with them?
I said fulfilled, not done away.
See, it's what I just said. Fulfill. I'm going to fulfill those rituals for people that are not Jewish. If you want to keep them, bro, knock it out. Go kill it. That brings you closer to God to go to the feast and keep the days of unleavened bread. And, do it. If you feel like you need to pray every day in a room, you have your own little room in part of your house, and you feel like that's what you need to do, then go pray in that room every day. I'm not, who am I to tell you? I'm not nobody to tell you. I'm just a sinner just like you are. We're all on this together. And this journey we've taken through this series and this great season of The Chosen, one of the hardest seasons yet. Man, just wait till next season. It is going to be hard because it's getting closer to crucifying him. But that's the whole idea of all this. And if you're just joining in, this is the first one you've watched, and you haven't watched any of The Chosen, this is a good one to watch because he explains it very well right there, exactly what he's talking about. I fulfill those. Oh, you come to do away with them. No, don't. Now, if you feel like, 3 days a week prayer is great for you and that keeps you where you need to be, do that. It came to, I like the word simplify a little more because these people, the Jewish people, they've been living this way and reading these scrolls and books for, like I said a while ago, I think it's actually like 3,000 years before this in the book of Moses, his laws and stuff before this, because this is I think a while ago it was like 30 AD. So he's got 3 more years. Okay. And they're getting ready to build up to this last part. Each year, each part, things are going through and they're getting close because he's fixing to get the donkey here at the end and he's going to ride into the city. So live and do things how God has called you to do them. We're saved through him in a personal relationship that we all have to deal with. I can tell you the phone number to a restaurant, but I can't make you order for you. I don't even know what you like. That's what this is. That's what I'm doing here. I'm giving you a phone number. It's up to you whether you call because Christ is there and he's waiting on you. If you think you need to be perfect and you got to get ready to get to heaven, you're not. You'll never be clean enough. You'll never work enough. You'll never keep enough of these laws that they keep talking about, all this crazy stuff. These 732 rules and rituals, you'll never make them all perfect or do them all right. You can't even keep the 10 commandments right. You're going to break them. Because he tells you, if you've even thought about it in your head to do this, to go against any of these commandments, then you've broken them. Well, I can't, we can't keep them perfectly. So hang on, let's get to the last video and we'll rock this out. Thank you guys for coming by and hanging out. Hang on. All right, welcome back in here. Let's go through here and we'll finish this part up and where he comes in. And she's about to come in the room here and she's going to wash his feet and he just blows up and goes crazy.
I don't understand the difference.
Keeping the law is a response to God's love. But now that I am here,
keeping the law is a response to God's love. But now that I'm here, you love God through me. I'm the way, I'm the bridge of life here, okay?
What does the matter? What?
You were saying about the law. Is this?
Your sister, Mary.
Mary!
Now, don't stink, okay? So if you don't know, this is like super, super concentrated stuff, and it's very strong. It's very, just tons and tons of fragrance.
Spikenard, Mary, what are you doing?
You're letting your sister touch his feet. That's degrading.
Have you heard nothing of what the teacher has said?
All right, this is enough. Jesus.
Once again, Shmuel, there is no law in Torah commanding that a woman cover her hair. That's just tradition.
You're commending her? Excusing her?
Shmuel, we don't know this family. It's not our place.
Blessed are you, King of the universe, for you have done all things well.
Yusuf Hernan, we need to leave.
No. Rabbi Shmuel, I understand, but we have to...
Performing an account for having witnessed it and done nothing?
An open investigation, you said. Let's see what he says.
Pure nard. Of the highest quality.
What troubles you, Judas?
Why was this ointment not sold for hundreds of denarii?
You just told a story about how caring for the poor is akin to caring for the Messiah.
Yes! This could have been given to the poor. This could have been used for anything. Supplies, shelter, things we need. But this is a waste. Where did you get this money, Mary?
Leave her alone. She has done a beautiful thing to me. For you will always have the poor with you. And whenever you want, you can do good for them. But you will not always have me. She has done what she could. She has anointed my body beforehand for burial.
Burial?
What does that mean?
Shh, let him finish.
And believe me, wherever the gospel is proclaimed in the whole world, what she has done will be told in memory of her.
What your followers said is right. This act was wasteful, immodest, and completely contradicts everything you said before about the poor and lowly.
He said they will always be with us.
The very notion that such a disgrace could be proclaimed throughout the world as part of your gospel, when instead it should be reproached, rebuked, and condemned. I can't be in the same room with this abomination.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I wanted to believe. I came here to give you a chance and you've ruined it.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
I'm sorry I couldn't help you.
Wow. That is a very heated scene right there. You know, Shamiel, he's just, I don't know. I've talked about this in every video, and if you've come by and watched all my reactions, I appreciate it. You know, and I hope that I can inspire somebody to, you know, to talk to somebody and say something. You know, we all have to speak up and, you know, be a light in this world. And I believe that's what I'm here to do. But they just cannot understand the function in their head. It is. They're so lively and concerned of just the whole idea and the thing of money and worried about, you know, what they're going to do with it. And you see Judas there. I mean, how many of us, here's a question. How many of us have been Judas and to think, oh gosh, you know, we've wasted this money on, you know, something that we could have, you know, done something else with it because, you know, like God's going to be mad at us because we got, I don't know, we got the nice package for Vacation Bible School. We spent the $700 instead of the $500. You know, that's probably not a good example because she's preparing, she's washed his feet so he can be buried. But I mean, you know, the mindset of what I'm talking about. I'm trying to make an example of where are you at when we have to take care of things, but is it the most important thing to buy the best thing? Well, it was for her. And she's showing her appreciation because he's the Son of Man, and she's admitted that right there in front of everybody. He's God. I mean, he says, I am him. He is. So really that had to happen anyway. But I just I didn't like how Judas reacted there. I didn't like that, how he reacted. He's just worried about the storefront. You know, he wants to have, you know, he wants to have the nice windows to the store and they all be tinted and they all look great and everything's just perfect and in perfect order. Then when you go in the store, it's crap. Same thing when he makes the example with the cup. You know, you got all these beautiful looking cups. He's talking to the rabbis up there on the steps a few shows ago, but what you're putting in them, that's what's important. It's in your soul. And they still don't, they can't put their whole head around that idea of where they need to be to understand that he's the living water. He is the Son of Man. And I want to skip here to where the girls are talking up here on the balcony, and it just brings up a good question. And we'll watch this, and I'll ask this question, and I'd appreciate an answer. Whatever you guys or girls think about it, I appreciate it. And then we'll get off here. We've been on 35 minutes. We got to get done. Okay. All right, let's go.
I suppose he's hoping that the tension and anticipation in the air is about something other than the Nazarene. I have a bad feeling about it. So, either we both have poor intuition, or something serious is about to happen.
What can someone like me ever do? I feel like a prop in their theater of power. Like a decoration.
I think we could be more than that. If we believe in something as much as they do.
Wow, that's very interesting. I like that. I like that part. I really enjoyed that. It just makes you think, how, she says, like, what can I do? How can I help? They know something's going to happen. They know something's going on, and there definitely is. And their intuition is right. And as you can see, as they're going through town, she just gets fired up about it, and she just gets out of her little.
What are you doing? Joanna! Come back here! Are you crazy?
Yep, there she was. She's just out there just buying palm leaves for everybody. So, there's times they're talking like, I wish I had the type of conviction or the type of determination that these people do to really believe in something. And she kind of says, well, what do I even do? I don't even know where to start sometimes. And that is something everybody can relate to. What do I even do? Where do I start? So we ended with this. Where do you start if you don't know where you're going to be when you wake up in that ever after and you lay your head down tonight and you just don't know? Then pray this with me. Lord, I'm a sinner, and without you, there's no way I'm going to make it. I can't. I'm a foolish slug. But through your son, Jesus, I know that he came to earth. I know he came here and died on the cross and rose from the dead on the third day. Lord, I confess my sins with my mouth, and I believe it in my heart that you are the Son of Man, that you're God. Be with me, cleanse me, forgive me where I failed you, Lord, and help me on my journey to be closer to you. Help me study your word. Help me see the wisdom. And Lord, put the Holy Spirit with me so I understand what I'm reading. Lord, I know it's going to be hard. Help me have patience. Help me have strength and wisdom. Amen. And that's about it, But when you ask for those things, remember, when you pray for wisdom, wisdom comes from learning, and learning only comes from hard times. And also remember that when you pray for strength too, in building a faith comes from those times that you're humiliated, times that you just feel absolutely run down and you don't know what to say sometimes, or things are just not going exactly the way that you think they should. Those things are what builds our faith, and that's what helps us to be where we need to be with him. And that's basically about it. So again, thank you guys for coming by and hanging out with me. I do appreciate it. Watch this next video up here and we'll share some more news with you. And hey, you never know where the big story is going to be next. Okay. Thank you guys.